Alright, starting off the video here with a fight against a tier 7 Kingmaker and a tier 7 Holy Staff. So first looks at their builds. I noticed the Kingmaker is on Druid Robe and Stalker Helmet. So that's a pretty dangerous combo as the Druid Robe stacks as damage and Stalker Helmet significantly increases the damage when I'm under 50% health. So it's definitely something to watch out for. But the healer was on Smite for some reason, and him being on Smite made me way more confident in this fight, so I decided to let them dismount me and get right into it. So here in the beginning, just trying to make sure I'm hitting them with as many abilities as possible, getting as many shift charges as I can. And as you saw there, his combo between his armor and his E did a lot of damage to me. But luckily the healer being on Smite pretty much just allowed me to ultimately be able to outdamage them, as he didn't have enough heal to keep them alive. And I was able to get the healer down there and just use my Invis pot for time here as I'm waiting for my cooldowns. And I was about to mount up, and then I realized that since he just uses boots, I could actually just kind of run away and bait him into following me. As I knew he wouldn't be able to get up to me right away and kill me, I could just let my health build back up, and once it was the right time and my Bloodlust was back off cooldown, turn around, which is exactly what I did. Got a good purge on his armor there. Get my Bloodlust off, and I'm not below 50% here. He doesn't have 3 stacks, so I know he couldn't kill me. Nice little cleanup there. Alright, hopping into the second fight here. This ends up being a really long one, as these guys weren't really, I feel like they weren't really too sure what they were doing. They might have been a little bit new to the game. Took a while because they ended up resetting multiple times, but there's about 5 or 6 of them that I saw running around through the zone. They kind of had some interesting builds that didn't really have good synergy. Kind of just solo builds all running around together, so I wasn't too worried. Felt like I could take the fight. Still OC just in case, because I knew there were a lot of them, and it was their hideout zone, so just in case a healer popped out or something. Just getting some initial damage in here. They're able to pop me for a bit with the curse staff and everything, but still in a fine position to be able to get my Bloodlust off. Almost able to kill the bear paws there. Just gets away in his undead. He had to been really low. And you guys, I noticed throughout all these fights too, especially in these outnumbered ones, it's one of the main reasons why I think Bloodmoon is the best, or one of the best, if not the best, 1vx weapon, because all of your abilities are AoE abilities, so you actually get stronger with the more players that you're fighting against. Granted, there's obviously a point it gets to when there's too many people or too much IP that you just simply can't deal with, but fights like these are just bread and butter for Bloodmoon. Just a lot of people, not too much IP, a lot of targets to hit, and I'm running roast pork as well, so I heal from every time I hit someone. Back to the fight here though, these bear paw ends up turning back around on me. Kind of looks bad here as everyone starts to dismount after they healed up a bit, but I had my Bloodlust back and able to get some health. Almost killed the bear paw there, but unfortunately get CC'd. And I'm in a little bit of trouble here, but I'm able to get my blood pull there, get a little bit of health back, then transform back to human form to take less damage from the curse staff. Able to kill the bear paws and finish off the curse staff. And then right here, I'm kind of just praying that they're not able to kill me through my undead, because I've pretty much nothing up for my cooldowns. And that's exactly what happens, and I just use my Invis pod, buy some time for my sprint again. A little bit of greed here as I loot that body while I'm still 1 HP getting chased. Now this guy popping up was really bad, but luckily the 5-second cooldowns he gets from dismounting saves me, and I'm able to create enough space and mount up. And then just running around here, try not to get hit by anything, so I keep healing because I still want to fight these guys since they're looting the bodies. And I'm able to dismount this Death Giver again. Start the fight back up again, hoping everyone else dismounts, but kind of just watch while me and him fight, unfortunately. Get the bear pod to dismount, and then he decides to mount back up again. So I mean, these guys weren't the best. It was a fun fight, but they just, I don't think they had any synergy, or they weren't in a call or anything. They're just some solos and a guild running around together. But the fight does kind of start back up here. They start dismounting again. I go after the Death Giver as I know I could probably be able to kill him, but I actually missed my Q there. And he had his sprint up again, so at that point I knew there was no point chasing him as I didn't have my sprint up, so I just turned back on the bear paws. Again, just trying to make sure I'm hitting as many targets as possible throughout these fights. Making sure I'm getting my blood pools as they heal me. Like, see how much I healed up there between the bloodlust and the blood pools. I think each blood pool is a little bit over 200 HP, so always making sure I'm picking those up is really important. I was able to kill the first bear paw there, and then at this point I pretty much knew the fight was over. I mean, I was still full HP. I'd already killed a few of them, and the rest of them were just dissipating, so while I'm chasing this guy, I switched to Tether shift, as I know this is probably going to be the last guy I have to chase. I'm not going to need to be on Distortion to fight anymore. And I'm able to catch him here. Using my Qs because the blood pools not only give you health, but a small movement speed increase as well, so I can make sure I stick to him and he can't get away. And yeah, I got another nice little kill there. Try to get a sneaky little invis pot play on this guy, hoping he'll turn back to look at the body, but don't get him, unfortunately. Then from this point, pretty sure I just mount up here and go and loot what I can from the rest of the bodies. But yeah, that was a pretty nice clip. One of the longer ones for this video and that I've recorded playing this game. So yeah, that was a really fun one. Hopping into this third clip here, we got a Nature with a Fire Staff. I believe they're both tier 7. Kind of jumpy while I'm on the chest here. Just get some initial damage in. Nothing too much going on in the beginning here. Just get my Bloodlust, and I decided to play Space. Kind of wait for the cooldown again on my Bloodlust, as I didn't like that start very much. Actually, what ends up happening here is I'm kind of kiting, just waiting for my cooldowns. This guy decides to pop his E and just gets absolutely smacked by the mage there. Nice way to start the fight for me, I guess. Just get the free kill on the DPS. Now all I gotta do is chase down the healer. Able to catch him before he mounts up. Beautiful. And then yeah, from here, like, as long as I don't mess up really badly, there's pretty much no way that he survives this. His only chance here, which he actually is smarter than he tries to do it, is run through the mage, as he knows I'm going to aggro it. So his only hope here is just getting me stuck in that AoE there. His teammate died too. But he has no crowd control or anything to stick me in it, so as long as I'm paying attention, there's really no way that I can die from him. As I mentioned in the last clip too, the more targets I'm hitting at one time, whether it be players or mobs, just helps you with Bloodmoon, as each Q and W you can get a max of 2 shift charges from each time. So if I'm hitting 2 or more targets, I'm getting 2 shift charges from each Q and W instead of 1, and that means that I can get my W off and 2 blood pool Qs. So it's a lot better than just getting either a W or 2 Qs without the W. And then yep, I'm able to finish him off there. Nice couple kills. Then hopping into this next clip here, starts off I'm just getting ganked by this bear paw. Pretty obvious that he's got a group, and yeah, the guy pops up there, ends up dismounting me. But just the fact that he's so confident at the beginning tells me that he's probably got a group with him. So start off the fight here, getting as much damage as I can in before more people show up, as I'm assuming they got more than just 2. That's what ends up happening here as the third guy pops up. No choice but to go on him initially, as the other 2 are invis, but then I take that opportunity to create a little space and get the OC. So I was already kind of low. I know they had a lot of burst damage with the dagger pair and bear paw E, and just in case there was another guy, I wanted to make sure I was OC'd. As you saw there, I actually kind of misplayed, as I let the dagger pair hit me with his E while I was in the form. I take way more damage in the form than I do out of it, so I want to try to avoid that as much as possible, but luckily I was still able to get the kill on him there before he could do any more damage to me. Then I'm able to also get the bear paw while I'm in my Undead. I thought I was looking pretty good here to be able to clean him up once my sprint came back, but as I'm chasing him, a 4th guy pops up. Now Deathgiver all of a sudden. and that's pretty bad for me as I'm really low on HP, got no Bloodlust, but luckily I'm able to get my Invis pod off and create some space there. He wasn't able to catch me initially. And as I start healing, I know that he's going to keep chasing me, and once I get by these mobs, I decide to pop my Bloodlust and just turn on him, as I know there's no way at this point he can beat me in a 1v1. He's the last guy left because the Fire Staff is still off healing, so yeah, pretty easy to just clean him up here. Then coming into this next clip here, just about just dismounting here to start doing this chest, and then tier 7 bear paw pops up on my screen here. The fact that he's not in a guild makes me pretty, like, not too worried, so I just attack him. Somehow throughout this entire first portion of the fight, I don't realize that I'm overweight. Don't know how I didn't realize that because I was moving very slow, but luckily it didn't hinder me too much as he just got absolutely melted in the beginning of the fight there. Like, as you saw, playing around the mobs just helps so much there. Like, I was literally, the fact that I was hitting the mobs, and even though all 4 of them were attacking me, I was still gaining more health than losing. Then I finally realized I was overweight. I was able to trash something out of my inventory. I was able to get the first kill on the bear paw, and then from that point, I pretty much knew that there was no way the second guy could kill me in a one-on-one. So it's pretty easy cleanup from here on out. And yeah, this clip just kind of showcased how strong the Bloodmoon is. Like at the beginning of the fight, that first bear paw got absolutely melted while I was playing around the mobs, and I was healing more than I lost health. Then this next fight here is against Bloodmoon and a healer. I think they're around like tier 6 to tier 8 variants. Pretty sure their gear was a little mixed. But this guy had been following me for a bit, and with the way his stats were looking and the way that his gear was looking in comparison to mine, made me assume that he was only confident because he had another player on his team with him. So I was still willing to see what he had and take the fight, so I was just asking him here like how many people he's got in his party. So I don't want to attack him and then, you know, like 10 people show up from his hideout zone and just obliterate me. But he doesn't answer, dismounts, and I just decide to fight him anyway. Kind of just hope that a big party doesn't show up, but if one does, still have a decent chance to get away. And then I see the second player show up. It's his healer, just a nature. But at this point he came too late, as I already had almost killed the Bloodmoon. Even though he's able to get some heals off there, since he's in a nature, he doesn't have enough burst heal as a holy wood to get him back, so I'm able to just clean up the Bloodmoon really quick. Tries to run here, but use the mobs, using my blood pools on the mobs to get that speed boost and stick on them. And then yeah, from this point he can't do anything. He already used his stalker shoes. He has no way to blink ahead, get out of my range, so I'm just able to clean him up. And it was a nice couple kills there. Then hopping into this next fight here, I'd seen a guy show up on my screen for a split second there, but I wasn't able to inspect in time. Just looking at the map, I wasn't too concerned about it though, because he was coming from this side where all there was a big fiber spot. But then it actually ends up being a tier 7 tank. He tries to jump me here while I'm on the chest, but since he already popped his boots, I knew there was no way that he could get to me there and I could just get an easy mount up. And then here I'm just kind of checking out everyone's gear and their stats, and you know how many, like looking at their past kills, seeing if this is really just a team of 4, just trying to get an idea of how good they are. And the fact that they start running away from here running away from me here kind of lets me know that they may not be the best players. So I decided to get aggressive after taking all that into account and start trying to dismount a couple of them. Which I'm able to do here is I actually get the Boltcaster dismounted, and then the tank decides to dismount, try to help out. They all dismount, and as they start to actually want to fight, I OC just in case. But the second this guy pops an Invis paw 1 second into the fight, and then the Boltcaster cancels his E, and then the healer proceeds to also pop an Invis pod, which I'm not sure why they even have on in the first place. Pretty much already know the fight's gonna be over. Like, you can just tell from those first few plays that they don't really know too much what they're doing. And yeah, I'm able to just kill the healer really quick there. Didn't put up too much of a fight, didn't even have to use my Bloodlust. Then from this point I'm just chasing. I know I'm gonna have a lot of loot to put in my bag and I'm already full on inventory slots, so I start trashing a couple things, but able to finish off the Boltcaster. Not sure what the curse is doing here. Might have just disconnected. Fortunate for him. But yeah, those guys were pretty juiced. Unfortunate for them that they just were kind of outmatched. They didn't have too much knowledge of the game, it seemed like, and they didn't have too many specs, so I was able to just use those to my advantage and win that fight pretty easily. But probably got close to maybe around 3 mil in loot from these 3 bodies. The other guy got away, but yeah, pretty nice little fight. Alright, hopping into this next clip here. Starts off just on a gathering spot. Mind my own business. These 2 gatherers pull up, invite me to a party. I'm guessing they're just trying to see if I'm solo. So then they end up swapping to fighting sets here. And he pops up on my screen, hits me with his royal helmet, bad knee. And I realize that they were in fact the people that I just had seen. So I'm assuming that this guy isn't obviously by himself because he had a friend earlier. I'm guessing his friend also has a swap. So I kind of just sprint away, heal up a bit with the blood pool, create some space before I see what I'm dealing with. Then I see tier 7 Battle Axe pops up. Feel pretty confident taking the fight. Wasn't too worried about anything. They don't have purge, so I can get my merc jacket off. Playing around mobs here with my bears, so I know I can get good value from my Qs and Ws in form. Yeah, I'm able to get a nice Bloodlust off here, get back to full HP. Baton's already running. From this point, fight's already pretty much over. Then I get a nice purge on this guy's helmet and his merc jacket. And yeah, now all I gotta do is just chase this guy down. Got my sprint up. Baton just runs away, kind of lets his friend die, unfortunately. Couldn't kill both of them, but get this one here. About 1.5 mil in loot, not too bad. Alright, hopping into this next clip here, pulling up on this blue chest, and I end up hearing the Knight activated, so I switched to my Distortion as I know I might need to fight. And seeing these 2 guys, there's a tier 7 Holy Staff and a tier 8 Life Curse. And funny thing, these guys had actually killed me about an hour before this happened, so this was a little bit of revenge here. I'm able to get a nice start as the boss is still aggroed on him, get a lot of damage in. One thing I gotta be careful about though, obviously him being a curse puts out a lot of damage, so just be mindful of that. Similarly to other clips, I'm just trying to make sure I'm hitting both with my Qs and Ws outside of form when I'm in the human form, because that gives me 4 charges when I hit both instead of just 2 or 3. So being able to get more blood pools basically just gives me a much better chance of winning the fight, as I'm able to sustain more HP for longer throughout the fight. They're kind of separated here. I try to pick off the healer, but he just barely gets his cleric off. And luckily I'm able to get a nice purge on their guardian helmet here, and I'm able to finish the healer. I make a very risky move here going back in for the blood pool. I kind of tunnel visioned on it. It definitely wasn't the smartest. Just Q him there to get a charge and get a little health back from my roast pork. Invis pot for time. And I know here, since he has no E and his W will only do a lot of damage if he has a Q stack on me. As long as I dodge the Q, I should be able to go back in with the health from my sprint and the blood pools and be able to finish it out. Nice couple kills there. On to the final clip of the video here. It's going to be against a tier 7 Holy Staff and a tier 7 OC Clarent Blade. Now, I'd had a couple previous rotations with these guys. They're pretty good. It's a little difficult to kill them. They're playing pretty good spacing in those other fights, and I think that was the biggest thing that was different in this fight that made me ultimately be able to kill them in the end. And also I did a much better job of dodging the Clarent Blade's E's and W's in this fight. I think I probably dodged like 2 or 3 E's throughout the entire fight. Just trying to make sure I'm getting my blood pools as often as possible, give me that extra movement speed boost. Helps me have have some kind of unpredictable movement and make it a little bit harder for him to hit me with all of his skills. Get a nice Bloodlust on there. He actually had Helmet of Valor. I'm not sure why he didn't try to purge me. I guess he's just trying to save it for my Undead cape in the end. Healer plays good space in there. But as you saw, I kind of went back onto the Clarent Blade for a second, and then getting him low kind of made the healer panic and run back towards me. And I was able to get him low here, got a nice purge on the Guardian helmet, and accidentally misclicked there. Would have killed the healer right away if I W'd onto him, but luckily my Demon Boots allowed me to dodge a purge, a W and an E, and I was able to clean up the fight here. Hey guys, I thought I'd just throw in a bonus clip here for y'all. It's just a little example of sometimes you gotta get lucky in this game and pull up at the right time. Found this 8-1 healer and 8-1 one-handed dagger. Very low on mobs. This guy gets jumped on and just immediately killed. Now I'm eventually able to run down the other guy too and lock down both kills, which was really nice. So anyway, while the rest of this clip plays out, just wanted to take the time to tell y'all I appreciate you for watching and making it all the way to the end of the video. This is my first time ever posting a YouTube video actually, so I apologize if the quality and editing isn't maybe as polished as it should be, but I hope you enjoyed the video regardless. And with that being said, go down below, leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any future uploads. And yeah, thanks again for making it this far. Peace.